there, it's Carol Doherty. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about what do you do if your boss is holding you back? I mean, I've been there. I had one boss who had an excuse for everything I ever asked about having an opportunity to move. Well, I need you for this big project that's coming up this year. Or, that's not the right job for you. Or, what if you decide to go out on maternity leave and you're out there, there's nobody that's going to backfill you. And if you leave our department, I'm not going to be able to cover that. So then what are you going to do? And he had lots and lots of reasons that were excuses on his part because he didn't want to let me go. I had other bosses who they didn't hold me back as actively, but they sure didn't go out of their way to help me move forward. One, when I asked him, so what can I do to move forward? His answer was, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Not helpful. So what do you do? When I was still actively in engineering, all my bosses were men, and some of them had terrible leadership skills. Some, as I said, were actively kind of working against me, but none of them really seemed committed to seeing me move up. It was like they didn't believe that I was capable or competent, that I couldn't do it. Now, as I moved out of engineering and into some other areas, that stopped being a problem. So let's talk about 3 steps that can help you deal with the boss that's holding you back. So the first thing you can do is to straight up ask your boss, what will it take for me to be able to move into a new role? See what they say. It's going to give you a big indication of whether they really are holding you back, or they're just not helpful, or they will help you, they just don't know what it is you're looking for. Because I've run across all of those bosses when I was in engineering. So the first boss, like the guy I described, he had a lot of excuses as to why it wasn't the right time for me to leave. Then you have the second boss who's just they're not actively beating you, but they're not helping you. Like the guy when I said, so what can I do? And he said, oh, just keep doing what you're doing. And then I had some bosses who, when I said I would like to explore other things, they're like, okay, what are you interested in? But you don't know what you're really dealing with until you straight up ask, what do I need to do? Then you have information. The next thing you should do, and you should do this all the time anyways, but particularly if you have a boss who's blocking you or not helping you, network. And I don't mean you have to go out and meet all of these people and do all of these things. Just get to know people. If you like the company you're working for and you see other opportunities, get to know people in those other areas. And they could be your peers. I was in an MBA program, and there was a bunch of people from my factory also in the same program, and I got to know several of them. And one of them was in supply management, and she and I talked quite a bit about what was she doing. And I'm like, that sounds like a nice change of pace from what I'm doing right now. And so she talked to her boss. And I ran across him one day. I knew him. And he's like, so when are we going to get you over into supply management? I'm like, well, when my boss will let me go. She was a peer. We're even equal levels, but in different parts of the organization. And she became an advocate for me to her hierarchy, who then was able to help get me into a different job. They actually ended up with some openings. I was able to go over into supply management. And then, I had a whole lot of opportunities. So network. It doesn't have to be a hiring manager or somebody further up the food chain. Just get to know people at your level in other parts of the company. You'll learn a lot about what they do, and you might find that there's somebody who can end up helping you because they believe you'd be a great fit for their team. That's an awesome way to move. And the third step you can take to help get past a boss that's holding you back is to get proactive. Apply for the jobs. Talk to hiring managers. The boss who wasn't helping me move up because he was just no help, there was a job opening in another area. I put in for it. I interviewed. It was not the right fit, but I went out and I did it. I started looking for it. I started talking to the guys in supply management to find out, can I move over there? And I started having those conversations. So that allowed me to have more opportunities. The boss who had all the excuses to why I couldn't leave the department, there was a chance for my family to move to a different area where there were other factories for our company. And so I went to him and said, hey, we're looking at a move. What would be my chance of transferring? He had to stop making excuses at that point, or I was going to leave the company, and he knew it. He actually ended up really helping me because there were a bunch of roadblocks coming up elsewhere, and he cut through some of that by going up to one of his colleagues and getting me the help I needed to get where I ended up. So sometimes they're blocking you because they're trying to protect their success, their perfection, what they have going on, and you make them look good so they don't want to let you go. That's what was happening to me in that case. But when it came down to help her or lose her, he decided helping me stay within the company was much better than me leaving our division or leaving the company overall. So those are the three big things you can do to help you gain control and get yourself moving forward when your boss is holding you back. First, outright ask the boss, what can you do to move forward? Because then you'll know what you're dealing with. Second, network. Get to know people throughout your organization or in your area, your industry, whatever is applicable. And it may be great just to get to know your peers because they can then advocate for you to their bosses and help you make a bridge to a new role. And then lastly, get proactive. Apply for the jobs. Tell your boss you're doing it. Talk to hiring managers. Talk to people. And you know what? If you see something, go for it. The only thing that will be holding you back in that case is yourself. Do what you need to do to get where you want to go. I really have seen a lot of this as a woman engineer and working with women in STEM, that we often get held back. We make our bosses look good. We're very collaborative. We're there for the team. We're helping other people succeed. And sometimes the bosses don't want to let us go. So instead of letting them hold you back, get proactive, take these steps and get where you want to go. It's your career. You need to take the chances. And if you're having problems and you're struggling, reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Carol S. Doherty. Send me a message. We can talk and let's figure out how we can help you move forward. That's part of what I do as part of my signature coaching program. I work with women to find that best next step. So hopefully if you found this helpful, subscribe and check me out on Instagram. I'd love to see you.